My lord! Alter just covered this topic, and it just keeps getting worse. Welcome back to Otaku Daikun. Dai-chan here. So yeah, as I just said, Dai-chan Alter hosted a video about double standards in gaming journalism, and it's now hit an all-time low with the new reveal that 2B from Nier Automata is in a collaboration with Nikke Goddess of Victory. I've got that, as well as some other dumpster fire drama to discuss. If you enjoy this content, be sure to like, comment, share, and smash that subscription bell as if it were your waifu. Consider supporting us by becoming a paid channel member on YouTube or joining our Subscribestar or Patreon. All three platforms offer the same perks, such as early access and exclusive content like a spicy Dai-chan hentai starring yours truly. With that out of the way, let's dive into the chaos. The crux of our drama last time was how game journalists were strangely praising Baldur's Gate 3 for its raunchy content, when that stuff is always condemned if it's an anime or Asian game. Companies freak out over a simple upskirt shot, yet they celebrate interspecies mating if it comes from a Western title. Rules for thee, not for me, as they say. There's another dimension to this controversy, though. As Alter put it, a lot of journalists are willing to embrace degeneracy if the target audience happens to be gay, or anything other than straight white guys. We've got an example of this hypocrisy right here, with how Polygon is talking about the latest update for Genshin Impact. I've got to admit, this new update looks awesome, allowing you to finally swim deep underwater. However, it didn't take long before fans started noticing an annoying animated texture that appears around your character's butt while swimming. We're no stranger to this, as it seems like another incarnation of the evil black void that obscures panty shots. What is weird is that this texture appears on everyone, regardless of gender, even if they're wearing pants. Of course, if I were to point this out on social media, there would be folks calling me an incel for caring so much about wanting butt angles in my adventure video game. If I want to stare at butts, I should just look at porn and stop complaining. It's the most brain-dead argument out there. Sure, I've always got hentai to enjoy, but that's just people screwing each other. There's a world of difference between that and wanting to kick ass in a video game as a hot babe. Anyway, we've got this journalist, Ana Diaz, writing an article about how Genshin is covering up the booties of its boy toys with what fans call a bubble diaper. Apparently, it's totally fine to complain about when a man gets covered up. Yeah, right. Calling someone a boy toy is just about as objectifying as the term waifu. Don't get me wrong, by all means, embrace your boy toys. It sucks when something you like gets covered up, yet oftentimes it's these same people who get on our case when a female character gets the same treatment. It's confusing, right? Well, that's to be expected when you play the woke game. I'd like to clarify that when I say woke, it's always the side of wokeness that takes being aware of social inequality too far. It's when you go from defending human freedoms and politics to making sure fiction can never show anything that might even remotely offend a protected group. When you play with fire, you're likely to get burned, and that's what happened regarding Baldur's Gate. Recall in the previous video that the Mary Sue said being able to fornicate with a bear was specifically what makes it a contender for Game of the Year. It seems they've quickly changed their tune, as people on their team found other things to complain about. It's only a matter of time till someone finds something offensive, and if you use that metric to ban media, eventually you'll wind up with nothing at all. Today's wholesome is tomorrow's toxic with these people. I'm sure Sean Murray here was celebrating how Galgun was denied an uncensored release on Xbox, but I assure you, it's only a matter of time before something he treasures gets censored. It's been 3 years since he wrote this crappy article, and I'm sure the PC police have him booked for something. The greatest drama I have for you comes from the recent collaboration between Nikke Goddess of Victory and Nier Automata. For people outside the loop, Nikke is often seen as the booty shooter, where girls fire off guns while you scope out their jiggle physics. That part is pretty blatant, but actual fans of the game will note how it's surprisingly complex, especially with its sci-fi narrative. Similarly, Nier Automata's 2B is known for her equally glorious ass. This is a match made in heaven, and rather than just straight up praising this collaboration, journalists are being snarky and stupid. The "oh dear God" in this headline clearly shows that Liv here looks down on the game. Meanwhile, Jordan's Baldur's Gate headline presents no such attitude. The worst example is this article on PC Games N, written by Lauren Bergen. It outright falsely describes Nikke as an X-rated game, being sure to mention that it's ever controversial. In truth, this game is rated 12+ for teenagers. If it were X-rated, you wouldn't be able to find it on app stores. If anything, the game possibly had to censor itself to keep that rating. Oh, and is it controversial? Doesn't seem to matter for the 35,000 people who gave it a 4.7 rating on the Apple Store. That's just for people who actually give ratings. I sure don't. This is such a sleazy headline, and it's designed to generate outrage for a game that's honestly just minding its own business. Lauren starts her article off by declaring 2B as one of her all-time favorite characters, and she's definitely not alone in that opinion. However, it's taken 2B quite the journey to get this far, and it's all thanks to her creator, Yoko Taro, refusing to back down to antis. Before Nier Automata's release, people called for 2B's censorship. They argued her frequent exposure of panty shots took away from her agency and, well, her autonomy. When they started taking screenshots of her ass for protest, Yoko Taro was all, "Nice, send me all the goods." Yet here Lauren is, celebrating an ass ambassador while misrepresenting a game with the same design philosophy. The irony stings. Also, shout out to Niche Gamer for being one of the few sites that actually likes anime. Lauren spends a good chunk of her article summarizing an infamous ad that Nikke put out, which featured a pervy teen missing his birthday party to instead fantasize about some of the Nikke twerking. It's honestly pretty funny, but apparently it did get pulled for being offensive. In that regard, I guess the game is kinda controversial, even though the game itself isn't as blatant as its commercial. The strangest thing about the article is that Lauren admits she thinks the collab looks amazing, and she's excited for the event to start. If that's the case, why paint Nikke in such a negative light? Of course, we know the real answer: clickbait. Even if the contents of her article are truthful and generally positive, that damn headline implies the exact opposite. Perhaps she is getting more clicks, but it's a sleazy way to do it, playing into the fans' anxiety about the game getting censored or banned. Speaking of ill-gotten clicks, I want to bring up Opera GX and the debut of their VTuber Aura. Headlines on Twitter are bragging about how this VTuber broke Twitch by having 75,000 viewers. While that is certainly impressive, folks have been wise to point out that a great many of those views may have come from inflated metrics. Basically, Opera GX is a web browser that markets itself toward gamers for allowing you to limit its functions, in turn saving on precious system resources. Despite that, Opera users have reported that Aura's stream was embedded into the browser's homepage, or rather its GX corner, essentially forcing people to watch it whenever they hop online. Not to slander Aura's talent or anything, but I'm pretty sure any decent VTuber would break Twitch if they could use that same technique. Since then, Opera has tried to deny the allegation by claiming embedded views don't count toward the stream's total. Fair enough, except that's a lie. A simple Google search reveals that you watching an embedded stream counts, even if you're not logged into a Twitter account. So why should we even care? Normally I wouldn't. Obviously, VTubers get bigger by having expensive sponsorships. It's impossible for someone like me to even dream about competing against, say, Hololive. That's nothing new, but what makes this case stand out is how Opera GX is a sleazy, anime-hating company. At the very least, they're wimps who are willing to throw their own creators under the bus to avoid backlash. This happened when one of the partners promoting them happened to have made a cunny video for Blue Archive. It was a tier list of cute loli characters in the game. Some snowflake on Twitter threw a hissy fit about this, and Opera responded by revoking their sponsorship. This honestly makes them no different than any other Western VTuber who whines and moans about loli stuff. In other words, a tourist. These are the kinds of people who try to play eroge and then get upset it's got non-con scenes. Imagine being such a little bitch that you need to mod content out of a game meant for adults in the first place. But you know what really grinds my gears? When major fandom spaces like Reddit go the way of the woke. Recently, Aquaplus, the studio behind the heavily underrated Utowarerumono franchise, announced a reprint of their spicy Dakimakura. I'm quite partial to Kuon and the twins, but due to international shipping and a whopping $120 price tag per pillowcase, I'll have to abstain for now. Regardless, one user on the Utowarerumono subreddit decided to let everyone know about the reprint. As a fan myself, I certainly like hearing about this news. Yet, because one of the characters, Nekone, is a loli, the mods argued it counted as cheese pizza, like legit CP, even though that's bullshit. Those mods banned the user for pedo-apologia, despite him advertising an official product tie-in for the series that sub was all about. Listen here, you jerks. Don't bother making a subreddit for something unless you're willing to embrace all aspects of it. Of course, this is nothing new for Fate fans. Following the latest summer event in Japan, mods of the Fate Grand Order subreddit started banning people for posting official art of various loli characters. Need I remind you that, just like Nikke, FGO is rated 12+ on the App Store? There is nothing explicit in this game worth censoring, and while I might understand certain loli fan art being a bit too risque, banning official art is quite honestly the epitome of trash, especially when you consider all the other degenerate stuff you can find on Reddit. What would it take to get those subreddits shut down, or taken over by mods with actual brains? This is so frustrating! Thankfully, games like Nikke are doing their best to push the limit, and no matter how many people complain, we can fight back with our wallets. I, for one, can't wait to play the collaboration. Perhaps you'll join me as a fellow man or woman of culture.
Thanks for watching!
If you enjoy this channel, help us grow by liking, commenting, sharing the video, subscribing to Otaku Daikun, and
most of all, smashing that notification bell so you don't miss out on all of our anime discussion, lore, or Let's Play content.
You can support us directly through Patreon, Subscribestar, or our YouTube membership, all of which come with benefits like exclusive vids and early access.
As always,
celebrate your fandom!
I want to give a special shout out to all my $10 and up supporters. VideoGamer75, Steven Elak, Samuel Gersten, The Nonchalant Ostrich, Otaku Mom, Jens Bauman, Mystic Samurai 1983, Lord Omagoden, Free Brick, Olympian Doll, Alexis Yukio Gomez Yamato, Link Pendrago, Observer Bellis, King Kobo, James Hewitt, Uncanny EXP, Andre Foster, Jared Kraus, Yukie Eros, Sogai CH, Caitlin P, Vladimirovna, Jonathan Padua, The Taz 96, Kengo X 77, Alistair Bernadotte, and Akakaze Yume. Thank you all so much.